I'll go running.
Do, Cassidy Quinn.
Hey guys, it's me, Cassidy Quinn, and today we are going on a run in the rain. Welcome to Seattle. So, I decided, since it has been exactly 1 year since the Boston Marathon bombings last year, that I should go on a run. And I was planning on some better weather for this. Should have gone on this run yesterday because it was beautiful and sunny out in Seattle yesterday. Now it's pouring rain. So I am here at Green Lake, which is a lake in Seattle, but it's really rainy, and I'm running with an umbrella. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever done. But last week I interviewed my dog. Oh, and for the occasion, I've got my Boston Strong t-shirt on, which is my favorite workout shirt by far. Anyways, as most of you guys probably know, a year ago, on April 15th, 2013, I was at the Boston Marathon. I was not running, but one of my coworkers, the CFO from my previous job in Boston, was running the marathon, and I ran the company's social media. So I went to take pictures and video of him finishing the marathon. Oh, and by the way, I have an excuse to be running with an umbrella. There are other people out here running without umbrellas, but I have a camera. I'm trying not to kill it. Anyways, as I was saying, I also wanted to go to the marathon to vlog it. You know, it's a good excuse. Get out of work for about a half an hour, go just take some video, because it's such an amazing, world famous event. So when I got to the marathon, I actually shot a short video on my phone. Happy Marathon Monday! There are people everywhere. A lot of people in Boston don't have to go to work today or school, so they're all out here cheering on people that they know that just ran. So I post that video, and then I start walking down Boylston Street, which is the street where the finish line is, and I eventually get to the finish line. Then I randomly decide to walk about 30 feet past the finish line so I can take a good picture of the finish line. So I take a picture. They show all of the flags lined up by the finish line, people running towards the finish line, people cheering on the runners. So I'm actually turned away from the finish line to take a picture. And then, all of a sudden, in the middle of this beautiful, perfect, sunny spring day in Boston, I hear the loudest noise I have ever heard in my entire life. And some people first thought it was, you know, an electrical explosion or the clock at the finish line or something. For some reason, I knew immediately this was not good. This was not an accident. Someone did this. And I think I forgot to mention that I was by myself. I mean, there were thousands of people all around me, but nobody that I knew. So I hear what was a bomb explode right by the finish line. And like I said, I wasn't facing the finish line, so I didn't actually see it go off. And I didn't want to look back to see what it was. So I just kind of turned around and start moving away and looking around to see what people are doing. And some people are running into the middle of the street to help people. I had no idea what was going on besides something bad. And I kind of went into this weird like blackout where I knew what was going on, but it was kind of this fight or flight thing. And I just moved away from the bad stuff. But really, I didn't even have time to do anything or think about anything before about 12 seconds later, another huge explosion. So at this point, everyone starts screaming. I don't even know if I screamed. I have no idea what I did. But I started looking to see what everyone else was doing, and a lot of people were running inside. So I follow a group of people into this little bank ATM area. And up until this point, I hadn't really looked back to see what was happening, or if people had died or were injured. I had no idea. I just knew it was bad. So I get inside this little bank ATM area with probably about 8 other people. And there's little kids in there crying to their parents. And then we all just start looking out the window to see what's going on. And we see smoke and people getting carried past us with just so much blood. Things I never ever thought I would see, nor ever wanted to see, nor would ever wish anyone to ever see or have happened to them. And at this point, I also look to my phone. to try to call my parents and my boyfriend and just post to Twitter and Facebook and let everyone know what is going on and that I'm okay. So this group of us, who none of us talk to each other, because we're all just freaking out, trying to figure out our friends and family are alive and make sure that ourselves are alive. Because at this point, I think I kind of looked down at my body to make sure it was over there, because I realized, oh my god, I could be in shock and there could be something severely wrong with me. And I have no idea. But after a couple of minutes, the police come in and they open the door of this little ATM machine area, throw it open, say, everyone get out, get out, get out, you have to move over to Arlington Street, which is the street 1 block over. So at this point, I'm trying to calm myself down, still freaking out, but realize that I am safe, and I'm so grateful for my safety. But still, no one had any idea what was going on. There was going to be another bombing, or another something bad, or who did this, or what the heck was going on. So I walk over to Arlington Street, and somehow decide to start shooting another video on my phone, because I'm a vlogger and reporter. My reporter instincts kicked in, and I just wanted to show people what was going on, and since I was alive, to tell the story, to show people, tell the story, tell my story, tell people what's going on as soon as I could. You can hear sirens right now because they're coming to save people, because there were people, I'm sure there were people that died. I saw people getting carried out by policemen out of the crowds that were just bloody, just blood everywhere. I hope people are okay. I don't know what is happening. This is something I never wanted to make a video about ever. There was someone feet away from me that people were bringing pitchers of water from the restaurant next door to this person because they were on the street bleeding. And then another block away, there's more people bleeding. And then everyone else who's not bleeding is just freaking confused and scared. So at this point, I'm still freaking out, and I'm texting everybody at work saying I'm okay, and they're like, get back here. What are you doing still outside shooting video, you psycho? Which, I mean, they were right, but like I said, reporter instinct was kicking in, and I just wanted to see what was happening and find the story. So eventually I convinced myself that yes, it probably is a good idea to go back to my office and be inside where it is supposedly safe. And I spent the rest of the workday really freaking freaked out, still not knowing what was going on, basically just Googling and searching on Twitter what happened at the marathon, because I wanted to find out. And then I learned that people died, 200 people were injured, and the rest of that week I spent obviously freaked out, as you can imagine. And my video that I posted after the explosions went off ended up getting picked up by CNN and MSNBC. The ground shook. I mean, my legs didn't stop shaking for probably 2 hours after that happened, because it was one of the first videos people actually saw online what was going on. I guess that's kind of cool, but that is never the way I wanted to end up on TV. Ever, ever, ever. If I could have the whole marathon bombings not have happened and not have gotten on TV, oh, believe me, I would. But then, since I was so distracted from work and still just freaked out, terrified, obviously. I mean, I was not physically hurt, but mentally, I definitely was. So I couldn't really focus at work the rest of the week. So CNN actually let me just kind of tag along on their shoots for the rest of the week. It was scary because on the day of the manhunt, that Friday, I was standing outside when the whole city was supposed to be in lockdown, but I was outside, like the rest of the news people, in the thick of it. But finally, the end of that day, which was basically a 24-hour episode of the show 24, in real terrifying life, they finally catch Zahar Tsarnaev, or however you say his stupid name, hiding in a boat. Someone's backyard. Yep, kill people, injure 200 people, and hide in a boat. Good job, dude. And in the past year, it's been pretty crazy. It doesn't seem like it's really been a year since the marathon, but at the same time, it seems like it's been a really long time since the marathon, and it's weird because people like me who were there, or people who have an injury to show for it, or a lost loved one to show for it, will never, ever, ever forget it, and it will always be just as big of a deal to them as it was on the day that it happened. But for a lot of other people who weren't personally directly affected by it, kind of doesn't get forgotten. It'll never get forgotten, but it just kind of goes to the back of your mind, because there's unfortunately been so many other tragedies in the last year that we're all thinking about. But for me, that still remains one of the, well, no, not one of the scariest day, the scariest 15 seconds of my life. And I am still so grateful and will forever be grateful every single day that I am safe and alive and in one piece to tell the story. So while I might not be running a marathon this coming Monday, I'm trying to appreciate the body and the limbs that I have in one piece. And whether that's running or dancing or walking or whatever, I am going to appreciate it because I know that there's a lot of other people that can't say the same. So anyways, that is my Boston Marathon bombing story, and I just wanted to tell you guys because that week is actually the only week in the past year and 5 months, I think, that I've missed a Friday and posted the video on Saturday. Give or take a couple of early morning Saturday postings when the video takes long to upload overnight. So I decided that in honor of all the victims and the injured survivors of the marathon, for the 1-year anniversary of the marathon bombings, I would post my video today instead of yesterday. And I don't run very often, but I just ran 3 miles while telling you guys my marathon story. So I think that is a good way to spend a day, remembering the victims, families, everyone affected by the Boston Marathon bombings. I'm not there for the marathon this year, which is sad. I wish I could be there because it's going to be such a cool day in Boston. Because while I might not have chosen to live in Boston forever, it is such an amazing city and so resilient. And the people, some might say they're a little abrupt, as people from the East Coast are, but this past year especially has shown how strong they are, not just in their sports teams, but in their ability to connect with each other, support each other, and come out on a positive side of this crazy, crazy terrorist attack that happened on the city's most proud day of the year. And I'm really excited to see this year. It's going to be probably the most proud day the city has ever had. So today, a year after the attacks, my thoughts go out to everyone affected by it, everyone who was there like me and not injured, everyone who was there and injured, everyone who was there and died, had a family member who was injured or died, and everyone that came together to overcome it and make Boston such a cool city. Honestly, I haven't missed Boston a lot since I moved away from it, but this will be the one time that I do miss it. The 1 year later marathon. So Boston, I love ya. Everyone in Boston, I love ya. You're an amazing city, you're amazing people, and go run some marathons. I'm gonna stick to 5Ks for now. Love you guys, see you next week. I'm pretty sure it was actually raining on the exact 1 year anniversary of the marathon this past week on April 15th in Boston. So I guess this rain is kind of perfect. And it's a good thing that I didn't do this run in the sunshine because that just wouldn't have been right.